Today I'm going to show you how to add a menu bar to the top of your Angular project using Bootstrap. Now I already have Bootstrap installed. I did it in the last video. I have ngserve running in the directory that I'm working in for my project, and I got Visual Studio Code right here. So we're going to go ahead and get started, add that menu bar. So we're going to need a component to add our menu to. I'm going to call it header. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do a Control C to turn my ngserve off. I'm going to do an ng generate component. Now you only have to actually do the G for generate, C for component. I'm going to call this header, and I'll just hit enter. I paused the video. It took about 15 seconds for the header component to generate. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Go over here. We'll scroll up. Header, HTML. There we go. We got the header works, but we can't see it in our project yet. We know that. We got to go down to our app component HTML, and we have our router outlet that shows components that we route to, but I'm going to want the header on every page. So I'm not going to bother routing to that. I'm going to go to the top of router outlet. I'm going to do this angle bracket app header, close, and then it added it. How did I know to add this? Let's take a look at our header component.ts. And here we have this selector tag. That's how we knew. So you have to put that name of the tag in an HTML so that you'll be able to see it, or the router will do it too. The router outlet will do it too. Here is our HTML file, and here's the CSS that's associated with our component that we added. All right, let's go ahead and test out our change. Go to File. I'm going to save all because that was the app that had updating to it, not the header component. Let's go ahead and get our ngserve running. Boom. I already tested it. That's why you can see that up there. And then we're going to go over to our website after this bundles up, makes all our bundles. Look at that. Header works. All right, so this is insufficient for a menu bar. That's all right. We're just getting started. Let's add another tab and then do getting started. We'll do Bootstrap, getting started navbar, right? Spell it navbar. Here we go. And we're going to get to the getbootstrap.com. That's the primary site. We have version 5. So we're going to go ahead and press that. Make sure that your version is selected here because it does vary between the versions, that what you have installed on your Angular. Now, we have a lot of cool nav bars. That's the nav bar, and that's the code that generates this, right? I found one down here. You got a lot of information on how to add stuff. It's an invaluable resource. I want to add this nav bar down here because we got this text over here. I want to put my log in, log out over here, and then I'm going to put my menu items here. So let's just go ahead and copy this code. There we go. And copy. There's a little button here too. You could have just done that, copy. And then we're going to go to our header.component.html. And I'm just going to paste it. I'm going to paste right over this. So I'll do Control V. Boom. Look at that. And we'll go ahead and save. Let's take a look at what we got. Make sure that updated. I believe it did. It does get stuck sometimes with Windows. But let's go ahead and look at our Bigfoot test. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Now we can change colors and stuff too. And Bootstrap, this getting started with Bootstrap stuff has all kinds of resources. If you just scroll down, oh, look at that, color schemas. That's ideal, right? I want schemas. I don't want to have to color stuff because I'm not very talented with that. So if I look at this, let's go with blue. And we have the code down here. We have this information right here. BG primary is what we want. Right, we can copy it. You can probably remember that though. It's not that hard. And we're going to go up here where our nav bar is. just going to match the lines. We had light right here. If I do primary, what do we got? I'm going to get this. Yeah, that's it. I'll do this. Bring this down. Go over here. Bring this up. And then let's save it. Oh, look at that. But you know what? I want the text to be a different color. Well, Bootstrap has something, you know what, I should have made that. I shouldn't have done it that way. Bootstrap has something where you determine whether the background is dark or light, and then it's going to pick your font colors. So if I do navbar dot dash dark, oh my gosh, navbar dash dark, we're going to get light text. And then I'll just do a save. Take a look at my Bootstrap, my Bigfoot. Look at that. It's white. That's a lot better. Now we can change some of this stuff too. Let's go ahead and do some of that. Let's see. Navbar text. We want this to say Bigfoot. There we go. Bigfoot or Bigfoot Hunter or something like that. Control S. There we go. Bigfoot. Home is good. Now we don't have any routes. Features. Let's change that to sightings. Is that how you spell sightings, or is it S-I-T? I'll stick with that, right? And then in our routes, we're going to have something like that, sightings. And then we're going to have a map too, right? Get a map. Let's do a slash map. Now these routes won't work yet because we didn't do the route module stuff. Let's do a Control S, save it. Oh, look at that, sightings and map. May as well change this text over here to our login, log out stuff. We're gonna have to do a login page soon. So I have this span. This is the text that was on the right. I'm gonna replace it. I'm gonna grab this unordered list and two elements because we're gonna want to log in and a log out. Do a Control C, go down to this span, do a Control V, and then I'm just going to close the unordered list tag. And then here, let me get rid of these Bootstrap tags that I'll go into a little bit with them, but not a whole lot. And then I'm going to add justify content end, right? So that's going to move it. That's going to move my my unordered list over to the other side of my bar. Let's do a Control S to save. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. So it still says home and sightings, but it is moved over there. Let's go ahead and change our text here. Instead of home, right, we're going to call that login. And then this is going to be slash login, but doesn't work yet. Login. We could make this on another line. There we go. That way you could see it. And then this is going to be log out. Log out. So this is the text that you can see. This is going to be my route, right? The href. And this isn't an anchor tag. If you've done HTML, you're a little bit familiar with them, but you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff when you're using Bootstrap. You just get used to it. You start figuring it out. Let's do a log out. Well, we may not want to log out. Let's just leave the hashtag there for now. All right, let's see what we got now. Do a Control S. Check to see if we had any problems. Nope, compiled successfully. Let's go to our website. Oh, there it is. Log in, log out. The only thing I'm going to change though, this is active because it's a little bit brighter, and this is active. You should only have one active component on the menu. So let's just go down here and remove that other active. You can see there, this is active here. And I learned all of this stuff the hard way, right? Like I got in, somebody hired me. They said, oh, you do Bootstrap, right? Or you do Angular, right? And I'm like, yes. And then I started trying to figure it out. Like this right here is for accessibility. So you'll need that stuff if you want to have ads for Google and stuff like that. You have to have your compliancy for accessibility. And you just start figuring this stuff out as it goes along. You play around with it, right? You know, unordered list and and list items, but you don't know what these classes are, but you start taking stuff out, then you're like, oh, that's what it does. Just like this justify content end, right? I didn't know that it moved it over to the right. Anyway, good luck with that. I will see you in the next video.